Hey, Livinpink here for Quantic Gaming with Frodan. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. So, what's up with those gunner glasses you're wearing?
I just came off a cast. I was working on the stream, and since Gunner is one of the sponsors to the event, they said, "Why don't you wear this?" And I tried it out, and it works really nice. My eyes don't feel strained at all.
That sounds fun. So, we have the IPL Cast Research going on this weekend. How are you feeling about the whole process? Were you involved in it at all?
Not really. It's actually like a board of people on IPL. I talked to some of the people about that's in the board and works with the voting and stuff. But I think it's actually really cool because part of the reason why I feel like the scene needs to grow is both the players and the commentators. And in order for that to happen, the top commentators need to be pushed, right? Same thing with the top players. The bottom half, or the mid-tier players, have to push up and get a lot better. That way, the top players even excel their game. Otherwise, it's just the same strategies, the same players that show up every tournament. And I think the same way with casters, with commentators, with personalities, more people need to come up. That way, the top feels pressure to keep improving. I think it's a great idea. I like the forecasters that are finalized. I don't have any say in it, but I'm really excited because the person whoever wins gets to cast on the main stage on the last day for one of the semifinals of IPL5. That's super exciting.
Would you have done something like that in the past?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I answered stuff like that. I remember when GOM TV first issued out a caster call for Code. I applied like 4 or 5 times. They never even responded to me. I was really saddened about that. But I can understand because they got like hundreds of applications. I've entered nonstop tournaments like that, like tournaments for casters. And that's why I feel like I'm very fortunate to be with NASL right now. That's why I really enjoy my job because I know how hard it is to break into this industry, and I think I'm just very grateful for all the opportunities I have.
So, how's this weekend at IPL going for you?
It's going great. Cosmo was awesome. Las Vegas is brighter than I thought it would be in terms of just how many lights. They always say the lights are always on, but it is really bright outside. It's beautiful. I was by the Bellagio. Just even the entrance. I was talking to Kibbles. You can't take a picture and ever see a bad side of that hotel. It's just this place is gorgeous, and I really like the venue itself because it's an entire floor. They really went all out on this event. And I was talking to David Ting too, and he was saying, this was a big risk because it could have fell flat. They invested a lot into making this event really good. But overall, the returns have been phenomenal. And just seeing the turnouts, seeing the level of play, not just the StarCraft 2 side, but Shoot Mania and League of Legends, I'm very impressed. And I can't wait to see what IPL will do in 2013, especially since they took over the front page and hit an incredible number of concurrent views. It's insane.
So, how do you feel about HUTs coming out?
Heart of the Swarm, I think, is a little bit unrefined still. Not necessarily on some of the changes that we want. A lot of people are asking for UI changes. I'm talking a little bit about the gameplay. Things still feel a little bit rigid. Things are changing so often that it doesn't feel like anything is set. And as a result, I feel like no player can really take it seriously. They're practicing Wings of Liberty until March. That's their livelihood. They can't really seriously commit to that. And that kind of hits like a weird catch-22. Blizzard wants the best possible balance, but pros can't commit the time to play because they're sacrificing their own ability to play Wings of Liberty, which is there's hundreds of thousands of dollars tossed out. There's 800,000 in November alone. That kind of stuff is like a weird paradox in our community. It's a good problem to have because that means our community is legit, our scene is legit. But I would love it if Blizzard would send out a couple of guys to come into their office and really talk to them, test it out for a few days, especially since it's coming to the off season. MLG's finished up, IPL won't have another event, NASL won't have another season, IEM will probably be the only thing left going on, especially since DreamHack had their final. Would love to see more testing in that regard. I think the UI changes is brilliant. I love everything they do there. But overall, I still think there's a few more tweaks and then it'll be ready. I can't wait for it to come out.
How did you feel about the Warhound being put in and then removed?
It's sad because I was beating some pros on ladder using the Warhound, and I wasn't even cheesing because I know some people send all their SCVs. And that's why I can say oh, I beat this person using Warhounds. It's like a little asterisk next to that little notation. I would like to see another mech unit be put into the game. I feel like Terran lacks diversity. In Heart of the Swarm, the Widowmine is kind of cool. The Hellbat seems just it doesn't feel it's not quite a Firebat, it's not quite a Hellion, and it feels like it's caught in between. But of course, it could be just lack of testing and playing. overall, I just feel like there's not much cool stuff that makes me want to play Terran in Heart of the Swarm. And so I feel like put the Warhound back, maybe in some different variation. I know maybe they're not thinking about that, but if you make some kind of new unit to add a new dynamic, I think it'd be a greater incentive to play.
Which was your favorite game so far this weekend?
The best series? Oh man, I casted C versus Naniwa on the main stage where C went mech against Protoss, which was insane. And I was casting it with Sheth, and Sheth had no idea what was going on because he's a Zerg player. And who knows about mech versus Terran versus Protoss? I've only seen mech played a few times. I've played mech a couple times against Protoss, and I've broken a few keyboards consequently. Mech I always thought was pretty bad unless you did some kind of gimmick like a 5-factory push off 2 base without upgrades. I really wasn't expecting it to work. I know C's been trying it out in team leagues. I didn't think he would necessarily be so bold as to try it against Naniwa, who's like a great guy who can react and play really solidly. But C, man, he's got balls, and I really was happy to see that. I was more just like a spectator in that game. I was like, this is happening, and this is happening. I can't believe it's working. And that was pretty much my entire cast. So I'm sorry if I didn't give enough analysis because I was so taken aback by that situation.
And which game are you looking forward to the most?
Man, I got to I was like kind of looking at the lower bracket, and I saw that that Hyun was about to play Stefano, and I was really looking forward to that match. But then that actually happened, and I got to cast it, and I don't think I'll give any spoilers out to anyone that might be watching the interview. But I think what's really cool about IPL5 in general is that every single round I feel like this is probably the deepest tournament of any tournament we've had in StarCraft 2. Look at it, like players 1 to 60 are potential top 4 placers. You can see all of them making deep runs, and so even the bottom 12 can make really high runs as well, depending on how they're feeling throughout the weekend. It's I mean even GSL, like DreamHack, some of those players you can go 30, 40 deep MLG, but you can't go 60 deep the way IPL is. I think all the matches I look forward to. I would love to see like Leenock face off against like I don't know like some crazy unknown player. I like seeing unknowns against like a favorite. And I like seeing the favorite win in that regard. So I want to see Leenock in the finals. I want to see, someone coming from the lower bracket that we didn't expect, maybe like Innovation or something, or maybe like Crank go really far. That'd be really cool. And that's what I really hope to expect.
Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
I'd like to give a shout out to you, Genevieve Forgets. I think I hope I say your name right for doing all the great interviews. Shout out to QuanticGaming. I know you guys put a lot of media stuff out, and a lot of people don't watch enough of your interviews. Shout out to Scott Ball, who's a great manager over at the QuanticGaming in Oceanside. And thank you so much to NASL for all the stuff they do, just helping me get on my feet as a caster. And thank you to the Gunner people.
Thank you so much for this interview. Make sure to check out the other ones, guys. Livinpink for Quantic signing out.